seeing things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian from Brian's Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for joining me. We have a very interesting comparison today of the Samsung Q90B top left, LG C2 top right, Sony X90K bottom. A special thank you to Robert and Wendy Zahn of Value Electronics for supplying all three panels for extended review and for today's comparison. Please consider making your next AV purchase through them. Check the description below for all their numbers and their website. Please let them know that Brian from Brian's Tech Therapy has sent you. They will take amazing care of you. They are also the creators of the Value Electronics TV Shootout, which we will see at the end of July. Today's comparison, and I will label these throughout the video, again, is the Samsung Q90B, LG C2, Sony X90K. They will be in their cinema and movie presets, not filmmaker mode. I will get them looking as close as we can. A special thank you to Jennifer Gala for her amazing content, as well as the HDR Super channel. Please check the description below for both of those channels, and please like and subscribe. Now, to film all these together is challenging. However, this is the way I like to film them. We all have our own signature techniques. I like to film the panels together. We are filming in a dimly lit, moderately lit room for the beginning of this presentation. They both look tremendous. Again, C2 top right, X90K bottom, Samsung Q90B top left. Now, getting these all at the same size is not easy, so I film what I have. Now, the reason I like to film them together is as I film them, my thoughts are organic. Seeing them all together, again, this is the way I like to film them. I also like to wander outside of the most accurate presets. I will not do that in this video, but going forward, I will film them how I see fit. I will show you all aspects of picture quality. Again, as a creator, this is what I'd like to do. Q90B I have only had for a few weeks. The C2 I had at launch, as well as the X90K. I will tell you the Q90B I had gotten very late in the TV year and was absolutely blown away by it. This year for Samsung, the S95B has been the story, the QD OLED. The Q90B started off strong, and then the S95 kind of pushed it to the side. It actually pushed everything to the side, as a matter of fact. But the C2 is one of my favorite all-around panels this year. The X90K is the mid underneath the X95 for Sony. But as you can see here, the X90K is very impressive. But the Q90B, which would be the flagship if not for the Q95, very impressive. Out of the box. And it has been updated to its latest firmware update. There's been a lot of challenges with Samsung this year with the Q90B and the Q900 for breaking the local dimming, whether it's time or firmware updates. I will be able to show you that if that happens, but we are up to date here, and so far, so good. The black level is amazing. While Sony and Samsung are both mini LED, they do have different approaches to their algorithm. They are both very effective, but they are different. When the lights go down, we will make the camera more close to the LEDs. Again, this is the way I like to film them. As far as what creators, I'll say this as nicely as I can, as far as what other creators do, I am not interested linking those videos to me. I don't have time to watch other videos. I'm busy making my own content and doing the things I like for this community and for this channel. So respectfully, I am not interested. Thank you. It's been a tough TV year. Anyway, we're still in a not bright room, moderately bright room, and we are now turning the lights off. What I love about what we see in the last few years is how closely OLEDs can look like LEDs. You'll see very distinct differences in certain shots. But it used to be years ago with either plasma or the beginning of OLED that the comparisons were very obvious. Now, if you take all three away and film them on their own, or you're around them on their own, they all look stunning. It's not until they're together that you can see how they look. There are times, like in that last image, where the depth of the OLED really shines, where the other two, in order to control the blacks, may wash themselves out. Again, the Q90B and the X90K have different ways of mitigating blooming. They're both effective, but they're both different. There'll be times where the two LEDs will blow away the OLED. I'm filming currently at the same time the Sony Z9K. There is no OLED on the planet that can get close to being as bright as that display can get. Now, with something like the Z9K, you get close to that 3000 nit. It's very difficult to capture that on camera without dimming it down too much. Hard to capture both. Here, as you can see, yes, the colors aren't perfectly, but how much more vibrant the LG looks, not having to worry about blooming. So in comparison, the two LEDs in that shot look dim versus being brighter. Now, all the colors are set to their warm or expert. However, OLEDs, even in those presets, will push blue on camera. Now, in filming these, you can always make them bloom more. Trying to capture both, again, is difficult. But you can see the vibrancy of the C2. You can see where in certain parts that is much more evident. This one is also SDR. This Hisense demo is an SDR, this specific one. And this is where the LG is actually brighter. Now the C2, or I should say LEDs or OLEDs of the past, struggled with SDR brightness. This is how they are in SDR. In some shots, exactly the same, but I like how OLEDs have adjusted that to where when you switch from HDR to SDR, you don't have this crippling dimming. Now here's the torture test for LEDs. Now, when you also see us film these, it's really more about the narrative. Even large channels like Vincent will say, listen to the narrative more than what you see. They both handle the blooming very well. Obviously, the Q90B is a higher end panel. The X90K does pretty well. Oh, and I should mention the X90K is not mini LED. It's actually full array. Now you can see in that last shot, the X90K, not as good, a little brighter. The Q90B, much better at handling the black level. What I like about the Q90B is that even when the blacks are a little bit lifted, instead of making it look like the blacks are suffering, it kind of brightens the whole image, and it just looks like the image is brighter. Good way of handling blooming is to not let it bloom around the image, but not making the blacks gray. Samsung has done that in the past, and here, not the case. They keep that blooming to a minimum that way. They both do very well here. The X90K being full array, as you go off angle, yes, you will see more blooming. We are dead center. But again, they both do very well. This is now HDR. Now, again, taking all three apart and filming them separately, it's amazing how in any comparison, you don't see the differences till you put them together. Having them separate, you're pretty happy with all of them. I do like this demo as well. Again, the contrast ratio on the OLED will always pull away. Again, there's times where the Q90B will be the clearer, sharper image, and there's times where it will flatten out a bit. You can see in the bottom corner of the X90K there, a little bit kind of washed out in the corners. Very happy with all three. Now, for you guys, where do you feel LEDs are? Do you feel the mini LED versus full array local dimming has been a big difference? Have you felt that it's added a lot? Do you see OLEDs going farther? Are you looking at QD OLEDs? Are you looking at these brighter OLEDs, the G2? The C2 is a bit of an incremental upgrade over the C1. I like the C2 very much. Now, while these are vibrant, they are still in their movie and cinema mode. Me being an LED fan at heart, I will always pull for them, but currently I own all OLEDs. LG C2 or C1 at 83 and the A80J at 77. Currently filming the Z9K. You'll see that video after this one for gaming. 8K, brilliant, very, very bright. QD OLED jump definitely this year. But for the WRGB LG OLEDs, they are tried and true, and they are just getting better and better at what they do. Now, the Q90B and Samsung in general, their quality control has always been a concern of mine personally. Though they sell so many panels, it's hard to judge them on my own portion size. However, in the last year or so, with their updates, it's very hard to trust their panels. And what I mean by that is when you're buying it, what will it be at the end of the year? Last year with the Q90A and the 900A, those panels improved amazingly through the year. Has not been the case this year. The panels have changed. Whether they're more accurate or not, the challenge is early reviews are not viable now as the panels have changed from when they were reviewed 2 months ago. Hopefully the Q90B and the 900B can be fixed in regards to their local dimming. It may still perhaps be a panel by panel basis. We can only hope for that. But I will tell you, this panel that I have here, it is a small one, but it's awesome. It's very clean, no DSC, very beautiful. I imagine the Q90Bs at the larger sizes perform better. A lot of times these smaller sizes due to their zone count, but I've had no issues with it at all. It's absolutely gorgeous. Cannot wait to game on it. But as I mentioned earlier, this has been a very tough TV year. Which TVs had come out, which didn't come out. A lot of flip-flopping by influencers, a lot of reviews that are here and there, a lot of attacking of other channels. Now, this was where I will move into vivid and dynamic. I do like to show presets outside of accuracy, guys. I am not Scorsese. I have no interest in being the most accurate channel on the planet. I do like to show you how bright and vibrant they are. Not everyone in the world is in filmmaker mode, especially in gaming. And once this TV season is over, you will see a lot of changes to the channel. I'll be back in front of the camera more. We'll be speaking more on the tech therapy side. I will address what I see with reviewers, including influencers. We'll be doing separate videos on that. But there are some things that need to be said. But switching them into vivid in real time so you can see how they change, and then showing you how bright they are. Now the Q90B is the brightest of the bunch, followed by the X90K, but it's amazing how the C2 looks easily vibrant. Where when I've done these in the past, the OLEDs need not apply. Especially even last year or the year before, you could see that just the way you would go into vivid or go into standard, and instantly the LED would look more vibrant just by default. Not the case here. The OLED still looks great, and in some shots looks equally as bright. And also, guys, it always depends on the content you were using. Spears and Munsell being probably the most accurate benchmarking disc out there. Just hard to film that over and over and over again. Looking forward to his new work or disc. But I'm very pleased with all three. I would keep any of these in terms of watching them. Me being a gamer would kind of knock the X90K out of that, simply because I love the game optimizer on the LG and on the Samsung. Being an OLED fan in a dark room as well. About gaming, it's about the beauty and not having to worry about local dimming. So I've moved to OLED for that reason. And shutting off the local dimming for gaming is a no-no for me, so until they can fix that. This is also a very challenging demo here, but amazing how all three perform. The blooming is to a minimum. And again, the Samsung will clip. But all three, again, look beautiful. Now, if you're watching this, have you bought a panel this year? Are you holding back? Has inflation, has the economy affected your purchase? These are things that I do like to talk about. Not being a robot, I am the more human than human, and I want to hear how you feel. So much throwing, mudslinging, and AV these days. Not interested in that. Not interested in drama. I'm interested in having fun with you guys and connecting with you guys. But the big three have had a good year. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. I will see you in the comments. Let me know what you think. Are you considering any of these panels? What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments. Talk to you soon. Love you guys. Take care.